to Horses, Hope, and Hustle, the podcast where faith leads, grit drives, and the Western way of life runs deep. I'm your host, Crystal Show, wife, horsewoman, entrepreneur, and believer that God doesn't waste the hard stuff. Around here, we talk real stories, big dreams, and the kind of hustle that's rooted in hope. So pull your hat down, pour that coffee, and let's ride. This episode is with someone who proves that limitations don't define the work you're willing to do. A team roper, welder, and man born with one hand who chooses grit over excuses every single day. This story is about resilience, work ethic, and showing up no matter what. I introduce to you Relentless by Choice with my husband, Brian Show.
If you want to do something, you just go do it. I don't see what's so motivational about that. Don't sit your lazy ass at home and expect stuff to get handed to you.
And that's Brian Show's motivation.
Yeah. There's your short and sweet.
So anyway, here we are with my husband, Brian Show. He loves talking, and he was super excited to be on the episode.
Stop lying. It just feels so awkward.
Since Brian does not like talking about himself, I will talk about him. Brian is a welder by trade, team roper, ropes both ends, very creative.
Equally bad at both.
Equal ever. He is a smart butt all the time. A big personality. My husband. I guess I already said that.
Saved her.
Something like that.
Okay, get on with your questions.
All right. The elephant in the room.
Born without it.
Brian, well, people can't see it on the podcast if you've not met Brian in person. Brian was born without his left hand, and he is still a welder by trade, team roper, pain in the butt. I asked him to be on the podcast today to talk about motivation and overcoming the hand that you're drawn. Or not.
Hand that you were dealt.
The hand you were dealt. That's what it is.
You just do it. I don't know. It's not that motivational to me. It's not like I lost something. I never had it. So I just figured out how to work around it. Or work with it, really.
Yeah. So when you were little, you tried to have prosthetics.
Yeah, we would get them and go get fitted and all the fancy stuff. And then I'd get home and be trying to do something that I already could do. And they'd get in my way and I'd just take them off and never pick them back up. So eventually we decided to just quit wasting the money between going and getting them and whatnot. So, because I would never use them.
Yeah. You guys were very active, like in your childhood. Your dad was a farrier. You were out doing that. You guys packed or just trail rode?
We would go.
Did everything.
We would hunt, pack in and hunt almost every year, whatever. Grew up around horses, and Papa always had a herd of whatever the latest sale barn had, and we just tortured them.
Did you get them gentle or
just
tolerable of children?
He just ran a dude outfit, so all he cared about is they wouldn't blow up. So we didn't know any kind of horsemanship other than just get on and kick them. They didn't buck you off. They were ready for the dude string.
That's awesome. Huh.
But, yeah, it was nothing new. Nobody that knew me anyways treated it any different. Treated me like the rest of them, I guess.
Yeah. Do you think that's what made you also just be like, this is what I got and not think anything twice?
I'm sure it played a part in it because nobody ever made a big deal out of it. So I just would figure out, or whatever. Mom took me to town to figure out how to tie my shoes before I could go to kindergarten. There was a girl that was a little older than my sister that was born with one hand. Or I don't even know if she was born with it or if she had lost it, but she knew how to tie her shoe. And I remember going over there one night, and after that, I had no more Velcro shoes.
We met later in life, after our 30s, and
I'm still in my 30s.
I guess I meant after 30 years old. No, I wasn't trying to. That did make us sound old. But we met at 31.
31.
Later in life, after you'd already gone and lived all kinds of adventures. And that was one thing that I have always admired is you always find a way. Sometimes you look goofy doing it, but you always find a way to do whatever you're doing.
Not found much that I couldn't do that I wanted to do. I haven't found anything that I couldn't do that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Never dove into it. Thought about bow hunting, but I don't even like rifle hunting, so I definitely ain't going to like all the work of bow hunting. That's as far as that went.
What made you decide you wanted to be a welder?
I worked the pipeline for, 4 or 5 years and just worked on the ground and was the laborer. Worked my butt off and got tired of working my butt off. Not that you didn't make good money, but I just wanted to move up, and the quickest way I seen to do it was learn how to weld and test out. And yeah, I helped a welder for off and on about a year. He taught me a lot, he taught me more so as just being a welder than how to weld. Not that he didn't teach me how to weld, but I think you don't learn how to weld until you're actually doing it every day, all day. And then, because I learned so much between the first 2 jobs that was way more than I ever learned just welding at night and whatnot. But yeah, I just got tired of being the low man on the totem pole. So bought a machine and
traveled the country.
Yeah, went all over. I traveled more before I started welding because I worked in the oil field for 7 years total. Only welded for 2 of them, but got to see a lot of the country. Got paid to do it. It was fun for a young man.
The eye roll. When did you weren't riding during that time, really, were you?
No, we didn't do nothing but what you're not supposed to do on the weekends, and not even on the weekends, but just work and spend all your money trying to stay working or in the bars, which do not recommend. Don't have nothing to show for my 7 years of pipelining other than memories.
Yeah.
Most of them good. It was a fun time. I enjoyed the work.
What is it?
That's a pipeline.
Oh. I thought it was a Top Golf. No, I just saw big things. So then 5 years ago, you quit drinking. Well, no, it's like almost 6.
It would be 5 this spring, 5.5 or no, yeah, 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that about when you started roping again?
Yeah, I think it was about Well, I spent one winter in Wickenburg, and then that's when the summer after that, I bought a horse. It was actually that spring. I bought a horse and got back into it. And man, have we come a long ways, but still feels like I've went nowhere.
Talk about, like, since people can't see you, how you ride and rope with your nub.
It's definitely controlled chaos.
It's not that bad.
You gotta. It takes a minute to get on the same page as a horse. I don't have the reach as far as the left hand to be able to control their shoulders, I would say, as good as you would hope on most horses. If you got one with any kind of decent mind, they figure out the system and it works good enough, I guess. I guess I've been successful. I can rope good enough. I don't want to go play in traffic every day now.
That's motivational. So for like people who can't see, you have on your left hand, you have your elbow, and then probably like halfway.
It's
I
like
don't know what that would be.
half of your forearm.
Yeah, is where
it either
your nub
just
is.
Whatever they said it. Umbilical cord got wrapped around it and it never developed. So I've never actually like x-rayed it or anything to see what's going on up in there. But
so when you rope, you fold up, essentially put the reins and your coils in your elbow crook.
Yep. I'll keep my reins short enough that I don't have, like, I can't take up any slack. So they got to be where I need them when my horse is gathered up. So they're usually pretty short to ride around, but I'll just throw them in the crease of my elbow and then make sure my coils are nice and straight over the top. And it works most of the time. Sometimes I got to where I'd really have to pay attention to my coils and make sure they were laying flat and in order, and I'd try to keep my last coil a little bigger than each one, and it keeps them kind of coming off and not trying to come down tight on themselves, because that has happened and it's not fun. But it for the most part it works pretty good.
And you refuse to tie off.
Yeah, for one, the horse I had at the time was when I did get, because it's more or less a note on your global handicaps to where say you can tie off or which nobody would ever bother me about it. But when I did finally put in for it, the horse I had at the time, he was a good horse and got me a lot and taught me a lot, but between me and him, we would never ride to the same spot, and it just never worked out. You don't have enough rope to have that much inconsistency. So it didn't take but about 2 steers at a jackpot, and I went through it in the very front nose of my trailer and never picked it up again until I cleaned that trailer out to get rid of it. So and then I guess it's a little prideful deal too, because I don't know if I don't think anybody ever would, but I don't want anybody to ever have a reason to say I had a leg up beating them, which, like I said, I don't think they would, but I'm not going to give them anything to say.
Yeah. I think your balance, I don't know if it is because of your hand, but you have a really, really good balance in the saddle.
I've tried. That was a big thing for me, like when we first got back into it, was staying square, because the horse I had, for one, was he felt you shift, and when you shifted, he would stop. So, like, if you weren't ready to deliver and you put weight in that stirrup, he would short you, he was really nice. So that was a big thing I've really tried to focus on, where I wouldn't I tried not to like telegraph my delivery through my stirrups. I tried to keep even weight in them, especially heeling. And then heading, I just really focused on, I've watched enough videos to like try not to balance on the bridle reins. So if you're not balanced in your stirrups, it's hard to not be balancing on your horse's face.
Yeah.
Not that I had anything that was good enough to pay attention. If you were balancing on their face, they would run through it. But we would figure it out.
Yeah.
But no, I think I try to watch and ride better than horsemanship can always improve. And I think when your horsemanship improves, your roping's going to, because your horse is going to be where he needs to be, more consistent. So I really try to pay attention to that. I may not go ride and work on it without roping, which would probably improve faster. But when I do rope, I do try to be more consistent with the way I ride, if that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. When you were a kid and like you were learning how to ride, did you ride two-handed or did you just ride with your right hand?
So we would train outside, we would get outside horses to gentle, because like I said, we didn't know, our horsemanship was just get them to where anybody could ride them, or it wasn't like we were training anything fancy or whatnot. So we were always riding young horses, and I would always I hated riding. So if it was any kind of a bronc or was snorty or anything, I wouldn't ride it. So I didn't have to ride very much. But if it was a gentle one, Dad would throw me on them, and then we would just, depending on what it was, we rode a lot of them in a bow saw, which is weird nowadays compared to what everybody does now. But it was all like two reins, like plow reining them. Yeah. And I would there was some of them, we had big cotton reins on one bow saw we had, and I would just kind of, like I said, they were gentle, and I would just take a wrap around my stub to where I could pull them to the left or whatever. Or just, I don't know, I just kind of figured it out.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, I don't know. It was just, like I said, you just figure it out. If you want to do something, you just do it.
Was it hard coming back to riding after? How long of a break did you take from riding horses before you started roping?
Shoot, I had been on one a few times through the years, but any kind of consistency, it was over 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
Because we would get on one every once in a while, and I'd go help my cousin, or we'd go mess around, rope the dummy, and most of the time it wasn't like we were going there to rope. We would just happen to show up and hang out, and they would be roping the dummy, so I'd jump on and just make a fool of myself. But yeah, it was a good 10 years where there was no consistent riding, and shoot, probably closer to 15, really. It was a long time.
Did you guys rope at all when you were kids?
We would rope a little bit, but it was never off anything. It was all Papa's just dude horses, whatever. We'd just torture whatever we had, so we never really had. There was a few of them that knew the job that we would ride, but most of the ones that we rode probably never even seen a dang team roping box. Not that it mattered to us. We just were having fun, but yeah, I never roped competitively when we were young. Like my brother and cousins and all those guys, they all high school rodeoed. But like I said, I didn't really. If I could go without riding, I would. I wasn't into it. Still to this day, I've gotten to where I enjoy it more. But if I could team rope without a horse, I would probably do it. And I mean, they're a tool.
Then you married the crazy horse lady.
That's all right. She gets them nice. I get the rope on. That's how it works. That was our deal.
Yeah.
That was our agreement.
Yeah. What made you even want to start team roping then?
I enjoy roping. I've always, like, even growing up, I would always have a rope in my hand, just roping the dummy. I'd rope the dummy like crazy. I loved playing with a rope all the time. And I don't know, I've always liked it. I just never really got into, when I was young, I wouldn't do it because I just didn't like riding and horses and whatnot. Every time I was always hitting the ground. Every time I turned around, one would freaking either buck me off or muck me out on a tree, or it's all the time. So I just hated it. But I don't know. I like roping. I always have. So when I got old enough to buy, or really, after I quit pipelining, I was home and didn't have nothing to do other than drink beer. And got to where I was over that, didn't want to drink anymore. And I just was like, okay, I need something else to fill my time with. So I bought a horse.
Did you start heading or heeling first?
Heeling. Yeah, I bought a hill horse, and then Clint bought a head horse, and Mikey was heading it first. Dylan was heading it first, and then Mikey swapped over to heeling, so we were even, because I got some steers, and we put them in a pen at my cousin's house. So Mikey started heeling a little bit, so we were even teams, and then we would just go. I'm glad there was nobody there to video. It was rough. We didn't have much guidance. We all could rope and handle a rope and, stay on top of our horse. Most of it was probably wrong, but here we are. We definitely learned a lot of bad habits, I'll guarantee that. And some of them still sneak back.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, it was chaos. Back when steers were cheap, I bought 6 of them for $1,500.
And now you buy one for maybe $1,500. Which one was easier for you to learn, heading or heeling?
I've headed the dummy, like, I don't know how many loops I threw at the dummy, because even when we was pipelining, I had a little dummy, called a fast lane. They're just a toy, and we would rope that thing constantly. We always had it. So I've headed the dummy, I don't know, I couldn't even count how many loops. But there's no replacement for heeling live steers. So as far as, like, once you get on the horse, heading is so easy. Like, roping the horns is easy to me. Not saying I'm perfect and I don't miss, but roping the horns is easy to me. Heeling it's still difficult to just, it's getting now to where I can see the timing, and I can see and catch the timing of the feet, and I've been pretty steady for the last 5 years, and it's finally starting to kind of come together where I'm catching more than I'm missing, and I count a leg as a catch. I don't care.
I don't care. And now you're learning how to.
Yeah,
I don't want to say.
My wife throws this stupid Ferrari in the box that has way too many buttons. I can't even do nothing.
Brian is taking my cow horse stud to the healing side to go futurity, which he was so excited to do. He loves him so much.
I do.
Now.
No, he's been, well, of course, he was very different from anything I'd ever rode. And then the very first horse I bought when we come back to roping was an old cow horse. And he was an older horse, and he was real feely like that, but I didn't ride him much. He got hurt And then I had to get rid of him, or I give him to my uncle to rehab him, and he's in the dude string now. But I didn't ride him long enough to figure out how to ride correct. And then the next thing I got, he was just, only thing he knew was run out there and go left. So it's been quite the learning curve. And he's probably unlearned a lot of things with me riding him, which has helped us rope him a lot.
We've kind of had to throw the cow horse thing out the window for a second. Not really, though. He's actually, both of you guys, Tonto was 5 when you started riding him, and not completely in the bridle yet. I'd been riding him in a bridle setup a fair amount. But you guys really actually, I was so proud of how easy you guys were able to get to know each other and just kind of click.
I think it was just more so, finally it's been consistent enough for us riding that it looks a lot better now that we're not, the cues are going where we need to go, and it's just not, and he's figuring out the job of what we're doing too. Yeah. Instead of when you're riding him cow horse and he's got to pay attention to every little thing you do. Whereas when we're roping, there's sometimes I put a leg on him where I'm just trying not to fall off.
This does not mean change leads. Yeah. This means keep me on.
Yeah. So he has matured so much this year. It's been good for both of us, I think.
Yeah. I'm super excited.
Next step, we got to haul him to town.
Yep. Ready for it. I'll let you take a drink before I ask the next question. Hang tight. We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors. This episode is brought to us by Big Sky Horse Sales. From Montana to Arizona, Big Sky is your trusted online auction platform for quality rope, performance, ranch, barrel, and trail horses. Check out our Wickenburg online sales series December through March. Shop current consignments and stay tuned for the 2026 sale lineup, or contact us today to book your custom event at bigskyhorsesales.com. Big Sky Horse Sales, built on trust, backed by quality. On the note of being sober, you decided to quit drinking 5.5 years ago. What made you decide to quit drinking?
Well, like I said, when we didn't have anything else to do. Not that we didn't have anything else to do. And I'm not trying to blame weed, because I was a grown adult, make my own decisions. But when we weren't doing anything, when we weren't working, we would just be bored and just start drinking beer, and then it's expensive. And then you got to worry about what you did last night all the time. It just got to be too much. Or not too much. I just got to be, I guess, matured, and I was like, okay, that's enough. And at first I was just like, I'm just going to quit for a little while. And then pretty soon I didn't miss it at all. So I just never picked it back up.
Are you glad you quit drinking?
I definitely am. Yeah. And like I said, I think it was just, I just finally was like, okay, that's enough. And I'm pretty good, pretty strong-minded. When I set my mind to something, I can conquer it. Not that I think I had a problem, by no means, but I was definitely a binge drinker. The thing I miss is like Copenhagen.
No, not going back to Copenhagen.
That was a hard one.
You quit chewing, how long after you quit drinking?
A year after I quit drinking.
Cold turkey?
Almost 2 a day. More or less. I tried the summer, or the fall, I quit drinking. Before I went back to Arizona, I would get them stupid fake chew and the Zen and all that crap. and it would just make me want the real thing more. So it was expensive in Colorado. That was the main deal for me. And then in Arizona, it was cheaper. So I was just like, yeah, whatever. Once I got to Arizona for the winter. And then before I left Arizona, I bought a roll, or it was a tower of 10 cans. And I told myself, I said, okay, when this is done, that's it. I'm not buying anymore. And I'm not chewing anymore, because I went through a phase where I wouldn't buy it and I just steal it all the time. But you start losing friends like that. But no, I think I took one chew after that can. The last can was gone. I think I took one chew after that, and that was it. I'll still wake up dreaming about it. It's amazing.
It's not.
But no, I don't know. Got to where I didn't want to spend the biggest thing, I think, and I catch myself doing it with my work boots and a lot of things that I should spend money on. I'll pinch pennies everywhere I can so I can go roping. Mm-hmm. I've spent a lot of money roping, but I've spent a lot of money on worse things, that's for sure.
Yeah. What is your goal in the roping pen in the next year or so, or 5 years?
That's been changing a lot. I've really been thinking about it, and I don't know if it's a little far-fetched right now where I'm at, but I would really love to make a living with a rope. We got a long ways to go, but I think I really felt my roping improve in the last year to where I was. So it really gave me a boost of confidence for sure. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying I can make a full-time living with it, but part-time living would be nice. So, and I'd really like to get consistent enough to find a traveling partner and maybe, I don't know, at least hit some nice World Series jackpots or maybe some amateur rodeos eventually. Yeah. But we got a nice little horse coming up. I think it's got the potential to do it. I'd like to take him down the road and show him off. His name's Sue.
Oh, I thought he was going to say my stud horse.
No, I am talking about Tonto. I think it would be cool to promote him.
We are currently in a position, we have a lot of young ones coming up right now. Obviously, both of our lives did a 360 in the last year. And, really going a way different direction than I know I saw my life going last year.
Yeah, I would have been a Kinder Morgan employee, probably.
Are you going to tell them what happened, or?
You can tell them.
When was it? February?
Yeah.
Last January, actually, I quit drinking. The last time I was intoxicated and puking my guts out and was like, this is the dumbest, why do I do this? Was New Year's Eve of 2025. Decided to quit drinking in January. Finally got to Wickenburg, middle of January, maybe. And then Brian and I met and went on our first date, February 5th.
I swiped the wrong way on Tinder.
Thank you, Tinder.
I thought I swiped left, but here we are.
Whatever. And Brian, I have to talk about this. In Brian's Tinder profile, typical man, did not have very many pictures, but he had one picture of him roping, and then it's that one where you're flexing on the pipe. I could tell he was welding pipeline, whatever. And I thought he only had one hand, but I wasn't going to ask him because I don't know. I didn't want to do that. And we're texting one night in the car. Brian's a terrible texter, FYI. Anyone out there that relies on texting for choosing your future husband, make sure you try a second type of communication, because still a terrible texter. But the conversation dies and he just goes, FYI, I don't have a left hand. And I'm like, Okay.
I ain't trying to waste nobody's time.
I was like, well, it doesn't look like it stops you. And he's like, it doesn't. Like, okay. We went on our first date February 5th, got married July 26th. And a lot has changed since then.
Yeah, ain't no kidding.
Yeah.
Got freaking horses spread across the whole country.
Oh my God, we have horses everywhere. We're riding a stud horse, have brood mares. We have, I guess right now we have 3 young horses. Well, I mean, Tonto's not old. He's 5.
Yeah. 3 young ones that are
3 very green ones, and then a very broke 5-year-old.
And then an old man.
And then, yep, the old boy. Crazy times.
Yeah.
Did you think that you were going to get married last year?
Definitely not on the bingo card.
Mine either.
Not on the bingo card.
I'm
not sad about it.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. It's been a very good, how many, 5 months? July, August, December. Almost 5.
Almost 5 months.
Wild.
29 years and
29
7
years.
months to go. Shooting for 30.
Forever. 30 years? And then what? Then you're going to retire
I'll probably
me?
be dead.
You're not going to be dead. And now we're at a point we don't really know what we're doing with our lives other than chasing goals.
Living day by day.
Yeah. Yep. Brian's from Colorado. I don't think we talked about that at the beginning. Grew up in Mancos, Colorado.
Yeah, little bitty town, southwest Colorado.
We met in Wickenburg.
Yeah.
And we went to Montana and everywhere up there. We were everywhere this summer.
Drove more now than I was working in the oil field.
Yeah. How many horses have we bought since we've been together?
5?
2, 3, 4. Yeah. Yeah. Goodness.
Somebody's got a problem. Somebody needs to say no.
That is exactly our problem. Is neither. Or like, I'm like, hey, this horse is a good deal, and Brian goes, okay.
Whatever.
Shout out to Lance Most at the end of his auction. I all of a sudden, like, I don't even know how much time was left when I turned to Brian. The yearling we weren't even considering. Yeah. I turn around and I'm like, buy this one, bid on this one, and we ended up getting him, and that was a good purchase.
He should be getting his first ride this coming week. Pretty excited about him.
Very excited. We just sent him to Jason Gay for training. Super excited. He is a big, oh my gosh. He was the biggest thing before we had Tulsa at the house. I bet what did we tape him? He was
14, 2 or 3.
He was just under 15 hands when we taped him. He was the tallest thing before we got this other horse.
It's going to be a big dull dud.
Yeah. He's going to be very gentle. Very gentle.
I don't know. See, not very inspirational.
Very inspirational. What's your best? What's your best marriage advice being newlywed?
The husband's always right.
What's your second best?
You might have to wrestle her down in the dirt and whoop that ass every once in a while.
That is not true. It did happen, but that's not true. Yeah.
And it needs to happen again.
Whatever.
I don't know. It don't feel any different than when we were sitting at Dylan's the first time.
Yeah. On our first date that was like 5 hours.
Yeah. She just wanted to see my wiener.
The dog. To be clear, Brian had a wiener dog.
Yeah, I don't know. If Crystal can find somebody, there's somebody out there for everybody.
Wow. That's awesome.
You're the one that said, be yourself. Okay.
I do think, actually, I don't know. I sometimes wonder what other people think about us because we eloped. Also, we didn't even tell anybody. Well, we told our immediate family was about it, and we went and eloped because we really didn't care what anyone else thought about it, but it was just right. And it was funny because really the people that had been around us the most last winter, those people had bets that we were going to be married, but everybody that had been spent the most time around us was like, yeah, no, we knew that was we knew it was happening.
Lucky girl.
Yeah. So lucky. I guess when you know, you just know.
Yeah.
Definitely feels like God had a plan in it all along. Because the other wild thing is you and I truly could have and should have crossed paths. As many places.
Crossed paths a bunch.
Yeah.
Or was in the same neighborhood quite a bit.
Oh, yeah, we were both in Wickenburg, but not even that. Even before that, there was times we were both in the same place in Texas and both all over that in Kansas. And I mean, there's a lot of times that we could have crossed paths, but I guess God waited until the perfect time.
Waited for you to grow up.
Yeah, you to grow up. And now here we are, building a herd. Building new businesses, going to church.
Shout out to Showco Containers.
Brian's starting to build custom tack containers, which we're hoping our first custom tack container is. That was a wild, oh my gosh. We had a large mishap happen with that. But it's
learned
finally.
A very valuable lesson. I am not a painter.
Brian is a man of many talents. The saddle packs saddle racks. There we go. I don't know where that came from. The saddle racks are phenomenal. The whole thing, the door, the barn door, sliding barn door, it is so cool. The craftsmanship is amazing. Brian's not a painter. Nope. Paint ruined, and it's taken us 2 weeks to get it all off, and
hopefully have a paint job this week and ready to present, because right now it does not look good.
Yeah, that was rough, but we learned. So yeah, maybe by the time this episode launches, we'll have pictures of it up.
Maybe.
So if you're listening, go look up Showco Custom Containers. If you're in Wickenburg area or anywhere, you could get them delivered. But custom tack containers built from shipping containers. Let's see. Shout out Pastor Scott for all of his guidance and prayers over us. Yeah. Changing a lot of things in our lives. Pushing us out of comfort zones. This bride's over here making all these faces.
I don't have a comfort zone.
Right. What is one thing that you would tell people, if they also What is one thing you would tell people that are also facing diversity?
I don't know. I guess I don't have the train of thought or the brain that I guess more or less tells me I can't do something. So that makes it a little different as far as, I don't know. I've never looked at something and been like, oh, I can't do that. I guess the way I am, but just go do it. I guess if you want to do something, whatever it is, whatever the adversity is, there's a way around it. I guess all in just how much effort you want to put into it. Most of it's not easy, but you figure it out.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things you get to choose your hard. Like, it's hard to sit at home and be pouting because you're not doing it, and it's hard to be out there putting yourself out there trying to figure it out.
Yeah. I guess it's hard either way you do it, but yeah, I don't know. I can't think of anything that I've ever wanted to do that I'm like, I can't do that, so I don't try it. There's things that I do, and I do look like a complete, I don't even know a word to say that's not rude, but just a dummy doing it. But if most of the time I'm having fun, I don't care. And I'm going to make fun of myself or somebody else does it. So, whatever.
I never think of it like that when I see you do things. What were you explaining to me the other night? Oh, how you TIG weld, MIG weld. I don't even know the difference.
TIG weld.
And how you wrap it. Tell them how you do that, because I'll butcher it.
Well, I mean, if TIG welding, you have a torch in one hand that heats your base metal, or your base metals you're welding together, and then a filler rod in your other hand that you feed into the puddle. So I just put a hose clamp around my arm and slide my filler rod into it, and then I can dip my filler rod and run everything as need be. But like I said, something that I just needed to figure out, so I done it. Most of the time it don't look the best, but the product's good.
Yeah. This man builds, he is very humble, and he doesn't like to talk about himself, so I will. He can freaking build anything and everything. He can build sheds, fence. That tack room is phenomenal. And every kind of fence.
I'm cheap, so I don't want to pay somebody else to do things.
Mechanics.
Mechanic for a little over a year in the shop.
And every time anyone in your family.
I was going to say, I've done a lot of mechanicing that doesn't pay, but it saves me money, that's for sure.
The one thing that cracks me up this summer when you were trying to be a tightwad is trimming the broodmare's feet.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm out on that. We'll pay somebody to do that.
Did you even get 1 foot down on
I got her fronts done. They weren't pretty by no means.
And that was because you didn't like bending over.
Yeah, that's hard work. I don't mind working hard, but I don't like doing it in that position.
Oh, goodness.
That's hard on the guy.
What a life.
Yeah. Here we are driving back to Wyoming for the 10th time this year.
Yeah, we are in the truck as we do this. That was the deal being on the podcast, is we weren't doing video.
I don't know what kind of deal. I never got any kind of deal.
Yeah, he really
You
didn't.
just nagged until I gave in.
Because I know you don't see it, but everybody...
It just, when you're like, you're inspirational. No, you got to make a living. I want stuff. So you got to have money to have stuff.
And then you're just like doing stuff, and you're just like so in your own lane, and everybody around you is like, oh my gosh, That guy is badass.
Well, I don't know. Everybody don't just get a little helper to follow them around and help them with their life all the time. So
you get a little helper
you
in the
just
car
gotta
now.
figure it out. That don't count. Yeah, you just got to figure it out. I don't know. It's just, like I said, I didn't have to overcome anything because I never had anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Had somebody lost a hand. Now that's different. I feel it for those folks, but I never lost anything. So everything's normal.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess as normal as it can be, but
yeah.
Normal as anybody else is normal.
What were we talking about the other day that really surprised me? But it was something so off the wall. And I'd ask you, like, do you ever think, like, oh, it'd be nice to have a left hand? And obviously, every day, everything you do, yeah, like, in a perfect world. But it was something with the horses that I never was like, what? I never would have even thought about. I wish I could remember what that was.
Like, there's been 2 times in my life where I was like, man, a left hand. Well, no, like 2 times where I was, like, serious about it. I joke about it all the time, but 2 times in my life where I've been serious, where I can see the advantages of having a left hand. And that one of them was playing basketball when I was in high school. And then the other was like, it would be, obviously it'd be nice roping, but like, that's just, I can dream or wish it all you want. It's not going to grow. So that's as far as it goes. Like, I don't just dwell on it because that ain't going to do you no good. But that is one where I'm like, dang, this would be pretty handy to have a left hand. But it ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
And prosthetics they weren't useful for me. They might be better now, but they just weren't useful for me. And now I ain't got the money to get them. And I'm not a child anymore, so they're not free. Or however that works. And
in your line of work and with the horses and everything like you do, that we do, and I don't know that a prosthetic would hold up or even work. Like the reaction time on that too. Yeah, like if it was a fancy one, I'm terrible about keeping stuff nice anyways. I can't imagine. If it was, I would never use it because I'd be scared to break it. That's not true. Constantly breaking the fingers I can feel. I can't imagine what would happen to the ones I couldn't feel. Yeah, your right hand has lived a lot of lives. Yeah, it's had to do double overtime for 32 years. Yeah. It is what it is. That's why we only get 30 years, because I got to die when my hand quits. Because we already know you won't wipe my butt. As a wife. That was part of the agreement, too. I was to wipe my butt when I need it. We're not having that conversation. If you were in need... I was. My middle finger was broke. That's the important wiping finger. Walk around with the itchy butt for a month. I don't know what kind of hope you guys come here looking for this time. Context to that, our yearling broke Brian's finger this summer. My goodness, what a mess. What a perfect little mess this is. Oh, one more question. What? What advice would you give to men? How did you know that I don't know. This was the one you were going to marry? Yeah, I don't really know. It's been worth it. No, there was just, I don't know.
I definitely just felt it. Nothing like, and it was from the first date. It wasn't like, I don't know. She's a lucky girl.
The advice is, I don't know.
You'll know.
She'll make you ride paid stud horses. She'll make you be on podcasts.
Stupid.
Oh. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to tell the people? Because I know you wanted to be here.
No. Get off your butt and do it.
Well, thanks for being on my podcast.
You're not welcome.
Thanks for being the best husband.
You are welcome.
Thanks for riding along with me on Horses, Hope, and Hustle. If you found even a little bit of inspiration or grit here today, share it with a friend, leave a review, or tag us on socials. And keep showing up for what truly matters. Until next time, stay true, stay tough, and keep hustling.